What's up, wild ones, and hello from the gutter! Alright, this is a review for the upcoming album Opera, from intercontinental champions of symphonic death, keyboard-laced technical grind at times, and operatic chaos, Italy's almighty Fleshgod apocalypse. Dude, let me just tell you, Oracles was an amazing debut. King was my favorite. That's a hard album to beat. Bellino in 19 was pretty damn good too. Really, Fleshgod doesn't have a bad album. But I don't know, man, Opera may just be their best so far. I mean, they just tossed that ball up in the air and smashed it out of the park. Just absolutely knocked the cover off, and now they owe some asshole $300 because they cracked his windshield. But real quick for anybody unfamiliar with this band, and if that's the case, I'm also going to assume you might not even be big on the genre. That's okay, because other than Fleshgod, I'm not really either. They are dubbed symphonic death metal, but I kind of feel that death metal is such a rich genre, if you will, that as soon as you start adding stuff from way out in left field, it kind of becomes its own thing entirely. So you may hear them described differently, but I just go with extreme metal. You know who else eventually turned into that? Cradle of Filth. You know how they started out black during that second wave, and even though I only know the first three, which I love, remember when you started seeing them in the press just described as extreme metal? Like, I'm guessing that began around Midian and Thornography and stuff, but yeah, if anybody here can vouch for those being good, let me know. But alright, for a style I'm not hugely into outside of Fleshgod, like I said, this album's fucking amazing. It's Dark Knight Rises, Born Supremacy, Eyes Wide Shut, probably some kind of X-Men or Marvel movie all in one. It's like this. If you're naturally the adventurous or curious type that sometimes desires to experience the less commercially hyped things in life, dungeons, fine art, isolation tags, weird shit like that, but maybe let's say you don't necessarily have the cash at the moment to visit NYC or London or Moscow where that stuff's easily found, Opera, and really all of Fleshgod's discography, will at least give you the perfect soundtrack for it. Fucking hanging upside down by hooks that you paid $1,000 for inside some kind of weird room where people on the dark web make bets on when you'll tap out, but strangely none of which has any sort of real evil behind it. It's just the kind of lifestyle some people like living. That's Fleshgod's music. It's the sound of high society if one existed in metal. I hope that paints a picture. But alright, now onto this masterpiece out August 23rd on Nuclear Blast. The intro, Ode to Art, and then something in parentheses I don't know how to pronounce, is largely a short operatic vocal track from Veronica, which, you know how some songs, regardless of genre, are just undeniably good? Of course, what I mean by that is anything not metal. Ecstasy of Gold, that Metallica intro, not metal, but amazing. Retrogenesis, Perturbator, amazing. Hell, Country Boy Can Survive, Hank Jr., song rules. This is one of those tracks, I swear to God. Because, like, other than Andrea Bocelli, just because I love the sound of his voice, I don't listen to any fucking opera music, but this, like, I don't know, man, it just psychs you up. So, the first proper song, I Can Never Die. Holy shit, one word, unbelievable. Not only would I argue this could be a contender for one of the best single songs of the year, period, it contains something else spectacular I'll get to in a second. Now, without being able to decipher what all the lyrics are, I think, or at least what I prefer to interpret its meaning is, it might be a kind of support or rally for people out there that are hurting for one reason or another. Or those that feel like they got nothing left in the tank besides fumes. But one of the main reasons it's extremely awesome is because right out of the gate, though only very briefly, it sets the stage for what its main melody is going to be. However, it then goes into the section that's just all out noise grind, like possibly even just be an open E, and it's just so fucking heavy. You want a visual to compare it to? Something else from the movie? That part near the end of Rise of the Machines, T3, when Arnold's been hacked and he's right about to kill John Connor, but he manages to bypass the command and he goes absolutely gorilla shit on that car. Just fucking out of his mind, destroys it like those bonus levels in Street Fighter 2. And the scene's especially powerful because there's no music behind it. You just see this psychosis before your eyes that really, if Arnold were human or anyone else that might have gone through an episode like that before, the truth is there's actually nothing sick about it at all. It's a healthy release and a final massacre of the demons that have been inside for so long. And that's exactly how I described that short section alone before it goes back into the main melody, and like, the song is just incredible. And the main vocal riff, if you want to call it that, comes from Veronica, but she's actually like singing as opposed to whatever it's called when an opera singer does something like opera-ly, if that makes sense. And then finally, mother of God, the guitar solo. Holy fuck, it's just so soulful and dramatic and beautiful and awesome. Like, nothing too technical or Ingve or something, but rather than just like again, it's something else that I'd vote if there were such a ranking somewhere as a guitar solo of the year. Like, it's kind of 80s, kind of Final Fantasy, video game-ish, sort of anime, specifically that song Blue Dream from the Saint Seiya soundtrack. Just intense shit, man. Pendulum's the next track, another crusher for a metal band that makes use of symphonic and operatic stuff. And it may be comparable to other stuff you know more, but its tempo and song style, if you will, reminds me of that Demus song, Prodigies of the Great Apocalypse, who I saw once with Children of Bodom, rest in peace Alexi, who on that same tour played right after Nevermore, also rest in peace Worrell. What the fuck? And let me tell you something, man, there are moments in Pendulum where I'd have to imagine the average person would hear it and just be rocked by the musicianship. Like, there's this one part near the back where the lead guitar is just insane, and I mean, yeah, maybe that's not all that out of the ordinary for more technical stuff, but I don't care, man. It still blows my face off with just how hard it must be to pull off. I mean, matching really fast piano notes exactly to these wicked fast, like, intricate guitar notes. I don't care how they built the pyramids, man. I want to know how Fabio moves his fingers as fast as he does, because holy shit. Next, Blood Clock. I don't know, it's like getting sprayed in the face with a super soaker. That's the name of a water gun from back in the day. Do kids even play with water guns anymore? Half the song's extremely aggressive and heavy, and then the other half calms down and it gets pretty cinematic, but it's awesome, I promise. At War With My Soul has a very interesting highlight. It starts out with this marching sort of feel to the drums that are just like heavy as shit. And like, the melody almost makes you feel kind of uneasy, but what stands out is this part midway through that, now while it might just be the heaviest moment on the album, amazingly, there are no guitars in it. It's literally just the drums and some atmospheric sounds, and that's about it. I don't know if people really mosh for a band like Fleshgod, but mother of God, does this part have mosh written all over it. Morphine Waltz, next song. Doesn't do a whole lot of fucking around, like it's pretty much just start to finish fast, heavy, symphonic, Fleshgod doing what they do, and Veronica kind of screams when you hear her. And this is another instance with a short but very deep sounding guitar solo. Very soulful. Although my favorite's the one from I Can Never Die. My God, is that an incredibly awesome solo. Matricide 821. Now, I'm not aware of this one being a single, but then again, the album doesn't come out for like another month, so I wouldn't be surprised if it turned out to be one. Because like, well, it fucking sounds like the type of song that would have a place on radio that played metal. And there's this very encouraging, like uplifting sort of message with this kind of almost maternal sounding, like guiding vocal line from Veronica where like Francesco's saying sorry about something, I don't know, probably some kind of fucked up shit he did. And she's almost like, it's okay, just keep going. You know, maybe an illustration of a mother's undying love for her child sort of thing. You know, I bet the band's proud of this song. Per Aspera ad Astra. Fast, chaotic, dramatic, heavy operatic, stereotypical Fleshgod before going into this kind of slower break that leads in with the soft piano and a guitar before it's back to the chaos. You know what, man? I'm gonna say something that some may think I'm possibly out of my mind for, but I can't help it. Sometimes when this band puts dramatic and chaotic together, I don't know why, it reminds me a little of Bolt Thrower. Something about it just like, yeah, it fucking reminds me of Bolt Thrower, right? And then the last proper track on this absolute epic of an album is called Till Death Do Us Part. Immediately, I get very strong My Dying Bride vibes from it. And I'm not just saying that because of the name of the song, like, it really reminds me of Bride. But the way the tempo moves in this song, after all the war and chaos and landmines and fuckery on opera, the way Till Death Do Us Part stays slow. It's very similar to the feeling you might get on Over and Over on Mob Rules, Black Sabbath. Like Falling Off the Edge of the World really kicked your ass right before it, as did the rest of the album, but then this much slower but dramatic thing starts playing. Over and Over, I mean, is the last song. It's very much that sort of thing. And then the outro, you could say, it happens to be the title track. It's a sad sounding piano song, sad but still beautiful, melancholy. Kind of like what Lick My Love Pump, Spinal Tap probably was if we'd ever gotten to hear it in full. So yeah, dude, I really mean it when I say I think Opera might be one of the best albums of the year, and I even still find it a bit of a mystery as to why I'm such a fan of this band, because I mean, I guess I'm just cut from a different cloth, so to speak. Like, my world's mainly dominated by simpler stuff, whether it be the Obituaries, or Exoduses, or Metal Churches, or St. Vitus, Candlemass, Slayer. I'm easy to please. So it's probably just a testament to how good Fleshgod is as to why I seem to love them as much as I do. Like, I know there's other bands like them out there, but as soon as I was finally in 2015 like, okay, what's the big deal with these guys? And I heard King, fucking A, man, I fell in love, god damn. But other than that, Maniacs, I am done. I'm out of here. So if you did like this video, cool. Maybe you can give it a thumbs up. Or if you just like hearing somebody bullshit about heavy metal, then apocalyptically Fleshgod your ass right into that subscribe button. And we'll see you next time on Concrete Spew. But until then, stay wild, my friends.